Hello and welcome to a new OET listening lesson. Today we're going to do some ear training all about personalised medicine, and what I want to do in these videos is not really do exam practice. You can do that somewhere else. I'm sure you've got lots of exam practice papers to look through, etc, etc. I want to do the bit before to help you train your ear, because doing exam papers is only really testing yourself. I want to build up your skills and train your ear in these videos. And what I want to focus on today is to get you to listen to how we use the voice and language to carry meaning. And by that, I mean how we use our voice, we modulate it, we use different tones, we pause, we use these various bits of language. And all of this is used to help us carry meaning so the listener knows exactly how we're feeling. And of course, connotation, implication, understanding how the speaker feels are all important things for you to be able to understand in your OET and in your everyday life. We're also going to do some comprehension questions. I'm going to really focus you by doing some intensive listening with gap fills, and of course we're going to look at some vocabulary. My name's Sona, I'm your online OET tutor with Bose Learning, and I'm a premium preparation provider of the OET. Thank you very much for joining me today. So the clip that we're going to listen to is actually only about 2 or 3 minutes long. It's taken from a podcast by the series Inside Health by the BBC, and it's all about personalised medicine. I'm going to put the URL in the link below so you can listen to the full podcast, which I recommend you do for your own CPD, your continuous professional development, and just generally to boost your skills and improve your OET score. As I say, we're only going to listen to about 2 or 3 minutes right from the very beginning, because I just want to do some intensive listening with you today. So I'm going to start off by doing some comprehension questions, and I want you to listen and answer the following. Why does the presenter start by replaying extracts announcing the sequencing of genomes? So it starts with a little extract from the US President and the UK Prime Minister announcing the sequence of genomes back in 2000. So why does she do this, and how does she feel? How do you think she feels about it?
You are listening to a programme from BBC Radio 4.
More than 1,000 researchers across 6 nations have revealed nearly all 3 billion letters of our miraculous genetic code. With this profound new knowledge, humankind is on the verge of gaining immense new power to heal.
I believe that today's announcement is such a breakthrough that opens the way for massive advances in the treatment of cancer and hereditary diseases, and that is only the beginning.
When that first draft sequence of the human genome was announced in 2000, like many others, I reported that it would change medicine forever. But then it all went quiet.
So she says, when the first draft sequence of the human genome was announced in 2000, like many others, I reported that it would change medicine forever. So what is the feeling? This feeling was that back in 2000, there was this huge momentous occasion. She reported that it would change medicine forever. However, she then pauses. So that makes the listener think, So when it was first announced, we got really excited, but then something bad's going to happen. And that pause gives us an indication that probably the next thing that she says will be dramatic, will be negative, or will be something that we're not expecting. And of course, she says, then it all went quiet. So we were expecting things to change radically, immediately. That's why she gave us this little summary of what happened before, and she played the extracts again. She was very excited. But then nothing happened. Everything went quiet. And her use of her voice, the pausing here, that all tells the listener that she was really excited, and then nothing actually happened. It went quiet. So we've got this feeling of disappointment coming from the presenter. Now, another listening, just following straight on from that, does she disagree that this sequencing of genomes was important? Have a listen.
Actually, it was a watershed moment, but it's taken 15 years for its promise to be realised. It's ushered in the era of personalised medicine.
And this time she says, actually, it was a watershed moment, but it's taken 15 years for that promise to be realised. So she doesn't disagree. She does think it's important. It's just, it's taken a very, very long time. And we know that she doesn't disagree because she says, actually. So, you know, it was really, really important. Actually, it was important. So the use of this word actually is for emphasis, is to tell the listener, you know, it did take a long time, but I really think it was a watershed moment. What does she mean by watershed? That means a momentous occasion, a turning point, something which changes history. It's just that it's taken a long time. So again, we get the sense of excitement. It was important, and then frustration. It just took a long, long time for anything to actually happen. Okay, let's do some more practice. Again, just training your ear, getting you tuned in to the sounds of English. Can you fill in the gaps, please?
And if you think that this dose by design style of medicine is fancy pants stuff, not likely to be seen for decades in your neck of the wood, you'd be wrong. It's already happening.
Okay, and here we've got dose by design. If you think that this dose by design style of medicine, what does she mean by dose by design? It's kind of curated doses for patients. So each patient has a different design of doses based on their genome. She also uses some really interesting language here. It's not medical, it's colloquial, but of course it's talking about medical topics. What does fancy pants stuff mean? What do you think? It's something, you know, possibly science fiction or only for the rich. It's fancy, it's not for me. And what does she mean by your neck of the woods? That's another nice phrase. It's in your area of your hometown. And we have here this if. So she's starting with this conditional clause. If you think this, if you think that this kind of medicine based on your genetics is imaginary, it's only for the rich, or it's not going to be in your area. If you think that, the reader, the listener knows that by starting with if you think, she's going to be myth busting. If you think this, you'd be wrong. It's already happening. So she uses this if clause, these kind of high ideas, fancy ideas. But actually, if you think that, you'd be wrong. She's very direct there. And then she uses short sentences. You'd be wrong. It's already happening. It's actually happening right now. This style of presenting makes us think she's myth-busting, and that's exactly what she goes on to do. Okay, let's listen to a patient now. Again, can you fill in the gaps?
I'm absolutely convinced 100% that if those genius people in Exeter hadn't found this genetic mutation and Jack hadn't been treated properly, that he would be dead.
And this woman who's talking about Jack, I don't know who Jack is, maybe her son, her brother, her husband, partner, father, or we can find out later in the programme. If those genius people in Exeter hadn't found this, if, you know, she's very grateful to these amazing people, they're geniuses in her eyes because they found out what was wrong due to this genetic mutation, and therefore they were able to cure, or they were able to treat Jack. Now let's listen to what a doctor has to say about this. Again, fill in the gaps for me.
What's changed and what the new technology has allowed us to do is to offer that testing much faster to many more people. That routine use is becoming more available to more people to benefit from.
And what this doctor is doing is introducing the topic. What's changed and what this new technology has allowed us to do is blah, blah, blah. And then she goes on to explain what has changed. So what's changed is, so listen for these cues at the start of phrases, which are then going to go on and give you possibly the answer to your OET listening, or will give you the main topic of the sentence, which is that testing has become faster and more available. And this is backed up with the use of more available and more people. So we've got that repetition to really emphasize the point. Okay, so that was all I wanted to play you today, but what I really want you to do is listen again, because it really is a packed 2 or 3 minutes with so much that you can take away with you. So listen again and pay attention to the use of the past tense at the beginning, and pausing to create that effect that she was frustrated and that it's taken a long time, but it's still exciting. So listen out for those pauses, etc. Listen for those idiomatic phrases that we heard. Can you remember what they mean? A watershed moment, fancy pants, and your neck of the woods. Try and grab those meanings from the context and keep them in your brains. Look at the use of if clauses to myth bust. If you think this, you'd be wrong. Listen out for those introductory phrases. What's happening is, which will give the listener time to think and pay close attention. Use this in your OET, and then listen for the use of repetition to emphasize a point. So all of these things go towards creating an idea and to enhance communication, which is what we want to do. So let's listen again. 2 or 3 minutes, just get it into your head and really pay attention to this, because these are the kinds of things that you need to be listening out for in your OET Listening Part C. Here we go.
You are listening to a programme from BBC Radio 4.
More than 1,000 researchers across 6 nations have revealed nearly all 3 billion letters of our miraculous genetic code. With this profound new knowledge, humankind is on the verge of gaining immense new power to heal.
I believe that today's announcement is such a breakthrough that opens the way for massive advances in the treatment of cancer and hereditary diseases, and that is only the beginning.
When that first draft sequence of the human genome was announced in 2000, like many others, I reported that it would change medicine forever. But then it all went quiet. Actually, it was a watershed moment, but it's taken 15 years for its promise to be realised. It's ushered in the era of personalised medicine, and if you think that this dose-by-design style of medicine is fancy pants stuff, not likely to be seen for decades in your neck of the wood, you'd be wrong. It's already happening.
I'm absolutely convinced 100% that if those genius people in Exeter hadn't found this genetic mutation and Jack hadn't been treated properly, that he would be dead.
There's no doubt that the way we treat lung cancer now has been totally revolutionised over the past 20 years, and there's no doubt that many of my patients are alive now because of these advances in technology which just didn't exist before.
What's changed and what the new technology has allowed us to do is to offer that testing much faster to many more people. That routine use is becoming more available to more people to benefit from.
Well, I hope you found that useful. We've been talking about personalised doses of medicine, but if you'd like a regular dose of all things OET, why not sign up to our free newsletter to get OET tips, advice and video lessons delivered straight to your inbox. Here's a little link that you can follow. Thank you very much for watching. If you have questions, feel free to get in touch, because I'd be happy to answer them for you if I can. Thanks very much, and hopefully see you again soon. Bye-bye.